Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Hi. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. I'm Kate, and this is Jessica. Okay.
Hello,
Would you like to
everyone.
introduce yourself? Yeah.
My name is Jess. I come from England, from London, and I have been living in Bologna for a year and 8 months. I counted it this morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And this is Kate.
Hi, my name is Kate. I'm originally from the United States of America, but I've been living here in Italy for 3.5 years. And Jessica and I both work at the Bologna Mille, my English school. So, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you all. Please, in the comments, let us know who you are, where you are from, and if you could answer our warm-up question of the day,
which is bing.
Do you enjoy being a host for others? Why or why not?
Bing. So let's start with you, Jessica. Do you enjoy being a host?
I do, but I'm not a host often. It's not something I do very much, but I do enjoy it. For example, when I moved into my apartment, I hosted a small dinner party, and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun, and it's something that I would like to do more often. I also like it when friends come to visit, to show them around the city and make them feel at home. It's a nice feeling.
Nice. Okay. I really like that. And I like what you said as well. To feel at home. It's an expression we use in English to say that somebody feels comfortable, right? To feel comfortable. Right. It's nice. And I also enjoy it. So it would be nice. Maybe sometime I can stop by once we're all free and I can see your apartment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I will host you at a small dinner party.
Yeah. I'll bring some lovely pasta or something.
And it's always really nice because you give, like, before anyone comes, you have like a real good clean of the apartment, and then that makes you feel like good anyway. It's like motivation to make your apartment look nice.
That's true, actually. That's a great point. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I too really enjoy hosting. The thing is, I live in San Giovanni in Persiceto, which makes it difficult for me to host people because most of my friends live in Bologna, and it's a little bit of it's a short train ride, but it's a little more difficult, I think, for people to find a reason to visit. So, yeah. I don't often get to do it either. Oh, well. But yes, so it's fantastic. So for those of you who are watching, go ahead and introduce yourselves in the comments and let us know, do you enjoy being a host for others? Why or why not?
Let us know. I remember when I was at university in the north of England, my first year was very exciting. I was 18 and I was living in an 8-bedroom house with people from all over England. Actually, no, they were all northern English people, and I was the only southerner.
Oh dear.
It took me about 4 months to be able to understand what any of them were saying, because the accent in the north of England is so different. But we used to host very big parties, and our house was became the party house, and that was very fun to host because it's always fun having a big party at your place because, yeah.
It is. The only thing that is not fun is when you have to clean up after the big party.
Yeah, I would always find myself not actually going to sleep and just staying up with my flatmates to clean, as people were leaving, going around with bin bags, throwing the rubbish away.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty a good and what we would call a proactive approach. So to take action before the need arises to be proactive, and it's an adjective, right? Yeah, so you were very, very proactive with your flatmates, just taking care of business. Really, really cool. Yeah, that's a smart idea. I can't say I have ever hosted a big party, but I've definitely attended a good deal of big parties. Yeah, I've been there.
You were the attendee, not the host.
Yeah, exactly. But it was always a good time. And I think one of the most important things is to be gracious as a guest, right? So to exactly thank your host and bring something nice, maybe like a dish, a covered dish, or which would be food, or alcohol, something to drink like soda, pop.
I tried to host one party in London for one of my birthdays, but my birthday is just after New Year's Eve.
Oh dear.
For me, no one wants to party anymore. No one can be bothered to celebrate. And I organized this little gathering at my house, and I got loads of alcohol in. I tidied up everything, and no one came. Like everybody cancelled like an hour before. So there I was alone with my cake and my booze. I had a great time. I actually ended up having a really good time.
Okay, well, you made the best of the situation. That's a positive.
Myself in my own home. I was a good host to me as well.
It's okay. Sometimes the only people that we have are ourselves. And if you think, how would I treat myself? Like as if I were a guest, then it could be like a gift to you. Yeah, definitely. I understand. Okay, well, let's keep going. For those of you at home, well, we're all at home, but for those of you who are watching this later on, please go ahead and follow along with us. And if you have a chance, try to answer the question yourselves. Okay, do you enjoy being a host? So, can you read that for me, Jessica?
Yes. Oh. When I can see it. There we go. A foreign visitor in your city. In this focus activity, learn how to host a foreign visitor, hospitality, be a foreign exchange host.
Nice. Well
done. Wow, there's a lot of things in here. So, me and you are both foreign visitors of this country.
We are.
Have you been a foreign visitor for a prolonged stay in another country, Kate?
Yeah, I would say I spent 2 weeks in Belgium when I was much, much younger, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. No, yes, 6 years. I don't remember. But yes, it was about 2 weeks. I stayed with my boyfriend at the time. Now I'm married and it's not that guy. But yeah, I stayed with him, and I stayed with him in Leuven, which is the city where he had his apartment, where he was attending university for law. And he showed me around all of the Flanders area. So we saw Ghent, Antwerpen, and Bruges. We saw, well, I didn't really see Brussels. We passed right through. Leuven. Anything else? I don't remember. Anyway, it was wonderful.
Yeah, good.
Have you stayed for a long period of time?
I think like just to visit people I know, like I've stayed all across Europe, visiting friends and other family members. So yeah, and like they've always hosted me very, very well. But I find myself like I think I'm a very easy guest to have because I'm very independent in that way. I don't need much attention or looking after. But
of course, I mean, in that sense, yeah, you're a very easy guest. But I would say that maybe they could do a bit better for you. Of course, you can be a good guest, but they need to be a good host. Okay.
All right. So, a foreign visitor in your city. Have you ever hosted a foreigner visiting your city? Have you ever been hosted by a local in a foreign city? What are some preparations that had to be made before the guest arrived? What are some potential problems to consider? So, if you are joining us at home, wherever you are, please feel free to let us know who you are and where you are from, and have a go at answering these 4 questions.
Yeah. So good. And if you're just joining us now, please remember, just like the ticker says at the bottom, okay, to let us know your name, where you are from, and to just introduce yourself. So number one, Jessica, have you ever hosted a foreigner visiting your city?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually, an Italian girl. We danced. She was in her final year at dance school when I was in my first year, and afterwards she had contacted me because she wanted to come to London for a dance workshop. And she also asked if I was interested in doing the workshop with her. So I ended up hosting her for a week in my home in London, and we both attended this dance workshop together. And sadly, I didn't have any time to show her the city because we were so exhausted from dancing all day at this workshop that we would just come home in the evenings, eat food, and go to sleep, and wait to do it again. But the time that we spent at home was really nice and relaxed. Like, I just tried to make her feel welcome and at home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds really lovely. And it sounds like you had a good time together as well with the workshop and just pushing yourselves to grow. It's really, really cool. Nice.
What about you? Have you ever hosted? Have you ever hosted a foreign visitor in America?
No, I never ever did. It's a little bit more insular in America. And so unless you're involved in a particular program like Erasmus or foreign exchange programs, it's not as common for you to receive a foreign visitor just randomly. Well, I will say, hold on. No. That same ex-boyfriend did come to visit me, and he's in Portland for 2 weeks, so I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I have. And I did, actually, when he was coming, what I did was I looked through all of the events that were occurring in that 2-week period in Portland. Like, there are a lot of things to do, and it was during the summertime, so there are outdoor cinemas, there are cultural events, there are big, parades or things like that. So I actually made like Post-it notes and I put them all over for potential activities, and having it all planned out, like not an itinerary, but just with these possibilities. Then I let him choose what he wanted to do on each day.
That's so nice. That must have taken a lot of preparation, though.
A little bit, but it wasn't so bad.
Oh, that you gave him the option at the end, though, to like you put out like ideas, and then he was able to choose which he would prefer, which is really nice. I might steal that idea the next time a friend comes to visit Bologna.
Do it, definitely.
Very cool.
One cool thing about it, and I think this is cool for everybody, is that you do not realize how many events happen on like a weekly basis, especially during the summer in your city, until you start looking into it for friends.
Yeah, it's so true. It's always nice, I find, when people come to visit you, you're able to discover more about your own city because you look for it, whereas like you wouldn't usually.
We have Valentina. Hi, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome to the
Where are you from, Valentina? Where are you now? And do you enjoy being a host? And can you answer these 4 questions with us? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Hi, Valentina. She's one of our students. Yeah,
it's our Valentina.
It is our Valentina. All right. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and answer the questions and some of the comments. We're just having a chat about hosting foreign visitors. Yeah. So next time, you should look into events in Bologna, look around, see what you can find. Definitely. Yeah. So have you ever been hosted, Jessica?
Have I been? I mean, by friends and like, I get to family count.
It can if you are visiting them in a different country.
So I guess then, yeah, like I visited my dad. He lives in the Middle East. So I visited him when I was 16, and I guess he hosted me then.
That's pretty cool. Where does he live?
He lives in Abu Dhabi.
No, I didn't know that.
And I call it Abu Dhabi because
Abu
words.
Wow, that's really interesting. So what did you do while you were there?
My goodness. Can I even remember? It was very strange for me. It was a big cultural shock. I'm not a fan of the country, personally. I don't, it's not for me. It was very cool, though, visiting like a bar that's like on the 98th floor of this skyscraper, and the lift, it goes up so quickly that your ears pop, like and that you feel it in your stomach. But that was very cool. I remember it being very humid, like hot and humid. And also, I got in a lot of trouble because I left the balcony slidey door just a little bit open one time, but like a mild sandstorm started. So not like a really crazy sandstorm, but there's always sand because it's in the middle of the desert. So there's always sand going around. And we left for dinner and came back, and the apartment was covered in sand.
Oh no!
Like, sorry. So then I think I spent that afternoon like sweeping.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. So just sand everywhere. And I bet your dad was unhappy. Yeah.
It was cool though. He took me to visit the desert, which I'd never experienced before. So I got some new experiences, which was great.
That's really cool. Okay, so here we go.
I've never hosted a foreigner, we would say. Also a friend. I live with my parents, and my mum is obsessed with cleaning.
Yeah, so we call this person a foreigner. Yeah. So she's obsessed with cleaning. Okay, fair enough. So you think maybe your mom would be really concerned about how clean the house is? Let us know. I understand.
I think that's good though. That's important. Like as someone arriving somewhere, you want to be arriving to a clean space.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be really discouraging I know it would, to arrive and have your space be quite dirty.
Are you noticing it in your apartment in quarantine, Kate, that like I literally sweeped like 2 days ago and I'm already like, I need to sweep again because like I'm just in here, and like dust collects so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's making me crazy a little. Me and my husband just did a deep clean on Sunday, and I'm looking around this place and thinking we're going to have to do it again this week. So,
yeah, it happens. So I guess it's because we're here more than we're used to being in here. So like your hair, skin, everything, like it just gathers more than it would do.
Exactly. We need to open our windows and just try to get that air circulating. Okay. Valentina says, in a while, I can't even come into the house. Oh dear. You say for a while, I think, maybe.
For a while.
Why?
Because your mom is cleaning so much.
Yeah, I understand you. Oh dear. Well, I gotta say, moms are like that. Not my mom, but my mother-in-law, so my husband's mother, is the same. She's a really, really fastidious person, which I shall put here. Go ahead and read for me.
I've been hosted by my friend a year ago for a holiday in Calabria. So cool. Nice. Was your friend a good host? What did she have planned for you?
Yeah, let us know. To be very clean, yeah. So the word I said before, fastidious, it's an adjective and it means to be very clean, like a personality trait, not like an object. So it's only for people. So for example, I think Jessica can be quite fastidious. And in this period, she's especially fastidious.
Do you think I'm fastidious?
A little bit. I've noticed that you do take care of yourself and your space and your appearance. I think it's important enough to you, more so than maybe other people.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, I am also clean, but I'm not. But I'm messy. So I try to let people know that
I'm so messy. Like,
messy.
hearing you say that makes me laugh. Like, if my mum was watching this, she'd be like, I disagree.
Well, you can be clean but not organized.
True, very true. You can be clean and very unorganized.
And that's exactly me too. Me too. The office is chaos, but it's clean chaos. It's just there are maybe books and places they shouldn't be, and
My clothes may not be folded, but they're clean.
exactly. Speaking of which, one quick and easy way to iron your clothing is to get one of those handheld steamers. I just discovered that, and it's pretty nice because it beats ironing.
Yeah.
A lot.
Ironing is such a fuss, don't you think?
It is a fuss. It takes a long time. It's easy to mess up, and you can hurt yourself.
And I will definitely burn myself.
I do every time. And I also worry because I have a cat, and my cat has no limits. He doesn't want to have limitations, so we can't put him in a room. He cries and scratches, or he tries to jump up on the ironing board. He tries to knock the iron down. And it's quite hot, so I have to be very careful. So, yeah, it's not going to work. Okay. What are some preparations? If you remember, when you were going to host your foreign visitor, your Italian friends, what did you have to do?
Organize a place for them to sleep. Very important. Organize a bed for them with clean sheets, a clean towel for them to use. Clean in general, the place. And yeah, what else? I had to think about travel for her because at the time it was different. This was quite a long time ago, so traveling in London was slightly different. We Londoners have the Oyster card.
I know, I still have a copy of mine.
Which you use to travel. Now you can use your credit card as the contactless on your credit card to travel. But back then, you can use your contactless credit card on the tube and buses.
I didn't know.
It wasn't like that. So I had to think about what sort of travel card she would need for the week, how we would organize that, getting her around the city.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, go ahead and read that for me.
They were good. They prepared the tour for all the week. I ate a lot of very good food. Cool, nice. We would say for the whole week.
Yeah.
Valentina.
Really nice, yeah. Good job. Okay. The tour prepared, you would say a tour. So for the whole week. Yeah, nice. Really, really good job. Okay, so it looks like this. But that was really well articulated. Good.
What about you, Kate? What are some preparations you had to make?
Well, first I had to buy food because definitely. Valentina says I have to clean the house and the bathroom, prepare some bed sheets. Don't forget your final S and towels. Good. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was very similar. I had to get food, stock the fridge. I had to think about what we were going to eat as well. So some like meal preparation or ideas for meals. And like I said, I had to look into some activities and make a sort of, not itinerary, but a kind of schedule that he could look at and see. Yeah, nice. Okay. So what are some potential problems that we need to consider?
I mean, in the first place, like if they're delayed or anything like that, when their first arrival, you have to be flexible to know that maybe they aren't going to arrive at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They could be arriving at 10 o'clock at night or even early hours of the morning, depending on how their travel goes. So I think have to kind of be prepared to be flexible for their arrival.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Valentina says, also prepare a list with some activities or restaurants. Remember, when we speak in general, we use the plural, not the singular. Good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, being flexible is very important. What else? What are some other things that could be a problem?
What do you think? Maybe they don't want to do everything that you plan for them. Maybe you plan loads of stuff, but maybe they're too tired or they have their own plans. So again, just being flexible.
Okay, so it's all about flexibility. I like that. Okay, I agree. I also think it's important to make sure that you know what their special needs are. So, for example, maybe if it's a good friend, you might know just automatically because you know this person. But if you don't know them well, or you've never stayed with them for an extended period of time, finding out things like if they're allergic to something, if they're a vegetarian, if they need some sort of special accommodations, if this sort of thing.
Exactly. Very good. And I think that's also like partly the responsibility of the guest to be able to communicate their needs to their host.
Yeah, and it is definitely a give and take. Yeah. Ooh, dear, this is a good one.
Good. A big problem is unpleasant foreigners. Yeah, that's never nice.
Oh dear. Yes, I think for some people experience a lot of culture shock. Maybe they are not accustomed to being polite in the same way. Maybe they're just
something that's not considered rude in their country is considered rude in another country. So
yeah, likewise, sometimes people are just rude in general, and that's a problem too. Yeah.
Or a foreigner who eats third person, and they eat all the things in your fridge.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh man. The thing is, of course, there's like a respect for other people's space. Yeah, that's part of the etiquette, that we talk about. Okay, really cool. Yeah, all good points. So let's go to the next. Okay. So, can you read for me, Jessica?
What are some essential questions to consider before preparing to host?
Yeah, so go ahead in the comments, let us know what you think could be some questions you must ask the guest or ask yourself. Jessica.
Again, their food requirements. Food requirements, allergies. Is there anything that they want to do or experience?
Yeah, is there anything in particular they're really looking forward to doing? Yeah, definitely. I think also maybe just trying to find out a little bit about the person beforehand. So if it's a stranger, just asking them about their interests, their hobbies, to try and get an idea of who they are, really. Pretty essential.
Yeah, definitely.
What else?
What else is there?
And let us know in the comments below what you are thinking as well.
I'm just trying to think. I've never actually hosted someone I didn't know. I remember at school, a group of people did like a foreign exchange with some French students, but I never did a foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange, very interesting. I've never done it either. Never. But I did forget about something at the beginning. It's funny how you don't think about these things, and then when you reflect, you begin to think. I was hosted by a friend in London. When you brought up the Oyster card, I started to remember because she had to find an Oyster card for me. She had an extra, and then we had to put money on it to take the tube. I was exhausted because she was from Tottenham. And we had friends who were living in like Featherstone Gardens, which is quite posh. I'm not sure what part of London that is, but
probably.
Yeah. And we were just going there to Tottenham, back, and to this downtown, all over London. It took an hour to go anywhere, literally anywhere, and I was exhausted every single day.
It's so tiring. London as a city. I mean, I went home just over a month ago now before quarantine, and I had to travel from where I live right into Central because I had this audition. And by the time I arrived to the audition, I was ready for bed. I was so exhausted just because I'd forgotten how much energy traveling in London takes. And I'm just thinking about my life in general. And if I could ever move back to that city, because I just imagine years of my life disappearing because you become so tired from all of the travel.
Yeah. Imagine the time you spend on the tube alone.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, I don't know if it's around Victoria Station, but it's like there's a part of the tube that's terrifying, so scary, because the car begins to shake and rattle, and I was not prepared for that. So I was, are we going to survive this or what? Everyone's calm. I'm freaked out.
Yeah, everyone's just like minding their own business, reading the newspaper, not looking at each other.
Pointedly not looking at each other. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Good. So let's take a look at, hold on. Oh, here we go. Read for me, Jessica.
How long? Okay, remember our quasi. We need the auxiliary verb in there. Valentina, can you try and rewrite that question and think about your quasi? Think about that auxiliary. I'll give you some time.
Yeah, so how long? And then we need our auxiliary. Good. Okay. And
do
also,
you stay where? Do you mean like people visiting our places?
Yeah, just the questions for, I think, the essential.
For these, yes, sorry.
That's okay, don't worry. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, really good, Valentina. How long? Good, good. Try and rewrite that question for me. What kind of activity do they like? Good. Activities.
Good. Yeah, so these are also good questions. What do you like? How long will you stay? Really important question. How long are you staying? Where will you stay?
How long? Yeah. Or maybe you need to, like, now. I mean, if my friends come to visit, I mean, they're young. I'm young as well. Like, we can maybe even discuss, like, maybe you pay for the food shopping, because I'm paying the bills of this place, and water and electricity bills will go up. Now there's 2 people. So maybe you can discuss talking about kind of a way to work out the payment side of things. Like maybe you buy the food for the week, like the food shopping.
Yep.
I wish I was rich enough to pay for everyone.
I mean, me too. But the reality is, nope. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So, First question.
It is coming.
Second question.
How long will they stay?
Third question.
What are their interests? What are their expectations for this trip?
Very important. Hey.
That's all.
And that's all, I think. Or the slide hates me, one or the other. So, yeah, let's look at this one particular question about expectations. Expectations. So, almost. Valentina, almost. Good. So, how long are, perfect, they, now, in this case, we want to use the gerund. How long are they staying there, right? Because when we use auxiliary are, sometimes it turns into a question in the present continuous. Since this is a fixed plan, how long are you staying with me? Present continuous. Good.
Good. Very good. So, okay, expectations. You were saying.
Oh, well, sometimes it's important to, I would say, be on the same page with the people that you are staying with. One experience I had that was a bit difficult was when I was being hosted in England, in London. because I didn't realize the expectation would be I would be taking my luggage back and forth on the tube. So we would get invited to stay the night at a friend's. I would take my small luggage. I would take it. Well, no, when I first arrived, we were staying with them. So all of my luggage, big suitcase, small suitcase, and a backpack. Then I had to take all of that on the tube to Tottenham. Then we went back to another friend's house, and I had to pack an overnight bag and take it on the tube again and then back. By the end, it was like I had no idea it was going to be like that. If I had known, I wouldn't have packed so much stuff.
Yeah, you would have made it more manageable for yourself.
Yes, the expectations. So I didn't realize I was going to be expected to do that, and at a certain point, I just started paying for Ubers for us because I couldn't take it anymore.
And also, like, so if someone comes to London, I get so excited, and I think about all the amazing things that we're going to do. But these things are amazing to me. They may not be amazing to Kate, for example. Maybe I'm like, Kate, I'm going to take you to the Tate Modern, and we're going to visit South Bank, and then we're going to look at all the rooftop bars. But maybe Kate would rather go to the West End and see a performance, or she'd rather go to the O2, the big dome that we have in London, I don't know, for example. So it's good to make sure that your expectations of the trip meet your friends.
It's exactly right, and that's why it's important to have that chat before. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so this is the next.
How might failing to examine and answer these questions lead to potential problems?
Yeah, that could be. Go ahead.
Problematic.
There you go.
It could be awkward. It could be awkward if you don't answer the question, like if you don't understand each other.
Ooh, what does awkward mean? Perfect. What does it mean when something's awkward? Yeah.
Awkward turtle.
Yeah, exactly. When something is awkward, you feel uncomfortable in a social situation. Yeah. Feel uncomfortable in a social situation. I think you can feel awkward in other areas of your life as well. But awkward is something that doesn't really exist in Italian, but we use it every single day. So if somebody says, well, that's awkward, they mean to say, that's uncomfortable.
That was uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Maybe wish that hadn't have happened.
Yeah. So that happened. That's what I like to say. Like, okay.
That happened.
And so that's in the past. Anyway.
My friend, should I tell you a funny story?
Of course.
So my friend, when he was younger, he did an exchange to England from Italy, and him and his friends were staying in a house in Scotland with a family. And they were like 14. And this family, they all sat down at the dinner table to have their dinner, and this Scottish family had prepared them food. Obviously, preparing food for Italians is stressful anyway, but they had prepared this like tomato dish, something with tomatoes. Anyway, one of the guys, he got the tomato on the fork and lifted it up, and he wanted to ask, what is this called, meaning the fork? How do you say the name of the fork? But he had already picked up the tomato, so he had the tomato on top of the fork. And instead of saying, how do you call this? What is the name of this object? He said, with the tomato, what does it mean? Like, imagine, and you're like, and this Scottish family were like, oh my goodness, we've insulted their culture. Like, we haven't cooked the tomatoes correctly.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
I need a fork. I just need to have a fork for a prop. Yeah, really. That's so funny. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'm going to never forget that story. Thank you for telling me that.
That would have been an example, like that would have been an awkward situation at the dinner table after that.
I can think of a few as well. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right. I love it. Jessica always has the best stories. It's really, really funny. What does it mean? Tell me. Answer me. So, oh dear. Yeah, that's what we call awkward.
Awkward.
But sometimes awkward can be funny, especially if you have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right. Which, yeah, for you, it means you're relaxed and laid back. Definitely, definitely. And I will also say, yeah, failing to find out how long a person is staying or who is coming, I think that's problematic for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I just remembered one time a friend of mine from my dance school, he had graduated, but he came back to stay at my apartment with me and my new flatmate. And it was like, yeah, of course you can stay with us. And then it got to like the 5th day. And like, I thought it was just like 2 days at the weekend. And then it got to the 5th day. And then it became a week. And my flatmates were like, he needs to leave. And I felt so awkward and uncomfortable because I was like, I felt awful just to say, so how long are you here for? You need to go, you know?
Yeah, it's quite awkward. I will admit, I have the kind of personality where I don't have a problem. So I would say, yeah, so you do have a home to return to, right? Because I don't want to make you feel like you have to leave if you don't actually have anywhere to go. But if you don't, please tell me now so I can help you find a place because you can't stay here. Sorry. Yeah. And it's not you or anything. It's just the situation. Like, my roommates.
That's a perfect line, isn't it? It's not you, it's me.
It's me. It's us. It's the situation. Now get out of my apartment. No, but really. Yeah. That was quite, genteel of you. I'm a little bit more direct, but this is a very American thing, like, hey, what's going on? All right. Hospitality. So I'm going to ask you some questions. And I would like you, Jessica, to tell me how you could respond to them. And also to those of you watching, if you have yet to introduce yourselves, please introduce yourselves in the comments and answer the questions with us. Jessica, how was your flight?
Thanks for asking. It was long. I'm feeling very tired. There was a really annoying man next to me who kept me awake the whole flight.
He wouldn't stop talking to you?
He just wouldn't stop moving around, very restless, obviously very uncomfortable, and it was very disturbing.
That sounds awkward. Fantastic. Okay, well, don't worry, you can rest. Okay. And so the answer you could also say is tiring. There was a crying baby, and that's good. All right. So when I hit when I click the second time on our slides, you will see some examples of responses as well. So you can get an idea for different things. Next, would you like something to eat or drink, Jessica?
Oh, I'm not hungry, thank you, but could I have a glass of water?
No. Okay. Yeah, of course you can. Help yourself, or if you prefer, if you're tired, I would be happy to get one for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And here, this is also quite polite. A cold glass of water would be great, thanks. Okay. Could I get you anything, Jessica?
Well, yeah. Could you get me? Could you get me a map of the city, please? I'd quite like to explore in the morning.
Okay, sure. Would you like someone to go with you, or do you want to go on your own, or?
I just quite like a minute, to walk the streets alone, explore.
Oh my God. All right, sure. Why not? Well, here's an emergency phone number for you to call. Please be safe. Okay, sure. All right. So a map of the city, or not right now. Thank you. If you want to respond with the negative, good. And where would you like to go tomorrow, Jessica?
Tomorrow, I would like to eat some very good Italian food.
That sounds
Take me to
delicious.
your finest restaurant.
Done. All right. And we also have Valentina's response. The flight was good. I slept the whole time.
Okay, Valentina. Remember, it's the same as all the week. We say the whole week, and we say the whole time.
Yeah, the whole week, the whole time. So we're talking about all of the experience, right? From the beginning to the end. When we are referring to anything, whether it's all the week, all the time, like Jessica said, it's the whole. Because you think of it like a diagram, 100%, start to finish, the whole. And very nice. Okay, let's go then. Let's go to the finest restaurant. Or if you want to ask for recommendations, what would you recommend? And so, Jessica, please help yourself to whatever you need.
Oh, thanks, Kay. I will. So I can eat all of your food in your fridge?
Yeah, don't do that. Well, if you do, at least warn me first so I can buy some more. Okay. And thanks, it will. Please make yourself at home, Jessica.
Thank you so much for your kind hospitality.
Oh
my goodness. That just reminded me. I said that line in a play once. Do you know the play, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
It's a play. I thought it was a book.
It's a book, but we did a play of it. And I was Susan, the older sister, and I said one of my lines in the book was, "Thank you very much for your hospitality, but we really have to go."
Yeah, when you have to leave. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's really cute. I would pick you as a Lucy, but I can see Susan. Yeah.
I was a Susan. Was I Susan then? Yeah, I was Susan then. But there was another girl. She was much shorter than me. She was Lucy.
That's fair. You need the tall ones to be the older sibling.
The older sister.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've been there as well. You know, I went and I auditioned for a play called The Odd Couple, and it was one of the many different productions I was doing when I was in university. And I did it as a sort of like whim. So a whim is something, I'll say here, is something you like a desire, but it's like a temporary desire. So just like a spontaneous decision, I said, okay, I'm going to go audition. I got the part. There were only 2 female roles, and I got the older sister. And the other girl who got the younger sister was older than me and taller than me.
Strange.
All right, well, I have that big sister energy, so.
Okay, everyone, we are coming to the end of this webinar. If you have any final questions, final answers, please write them in now. Should we reveal the last one?
Let's reveal the last one. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's go ahead and start to review a bit of what we've spoken about. So I'll ask you, Jessica, what is that word again that means to take action before anything occurs?
It's that word, proactive.
That's right, to take action beforehand. It's to be a proactive person, okay? Or to act in a way that's proactive. Now, what about that uncomfortable feeling you can have in a social situation?
Oh, that word is definitely awkward.
Awkward. What about the phrase I can say if I want you to feel comfortable in my house? What can I say to you?
Make yourself at home.
Good. Make yourself at home, or we want you to feel at home. Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when I need to ask a question, I need to use an open question. What do I need? What is that structure?
We have that lovely quasi in there. We have our question, our auxiliary, our subject, and our infinitive.
Yeah, exactly. So question word plus auxiliary plus subject plus infinitive. Don't forget about that. And that's all the time that we have. Really quickly, if you have a moment to check out our Facebook page, it's called MyES SOS English. It is our Facebook page for when you need to ask a specific question about grammar or about the English language. We have teachers checking that every single day. Okay, so go ahead
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
see you guys later and take care.